So this is something I was kind of going through yesterday at Woodman's there. And so this is a Whistle Pig Legends series. It's a limited edition Alfa Romero F1 Team Steak Barrel is a high rye whiskey selected by Alfa Romero themselves. It's a 96 proof whiskey. It's absolutely it's just tasty. It's rounded out with some juicy fruit flavors, with a touch of spice. So you can taste the spice at the front, but then the lychee and oolong tea kind of finish it
Yeah,
off.
right.
It's
Right when I heard oolong tea. So one of
yeah,
my favorite like loose leaf tea combos is strawberry oolong,
no kidding.
and it is a
So
mix between like it's your best of both worlds with green tea and black tea because black tea has a very different taste to green tea, and it has a different, I would say, high or body high. I guess
hmm
it's they're both different. Green tea is a little bit more mellow as well too. So when somebody made a oolong tea, oolong is like the combination of the two. It's like a green tea and a black tea combo.
okay.
And then the strawberry oolong tea in particular is like just really sweet. It's
Yeah.
like a sweet tea, but it's like natural sweetness, so it's a little bit better. But yeah, so like oolong, when you hear that in a rye or a whiskey or something like that, like I have no idea what that would taste like.
Oh, it was put it this way, it was so tasty. The three of us polished off a bottle.
Yeah.
So it's like I was being very conservative. I was only having like maybe one. I only had the goal was only have two drinks, like about maybe three shots maximum. Because I was actually being very conservative. Well, then I read up with Ryan. He added a little bit more. It was more like 4 or 5 shots that last drink. It was like,
Sometimes you
oh
just add
man,
a couple, like
yeah, yeah. And it's like
two shots of whiskey, gluck, 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 like
it's oh man, but it
the
was
Martha Stewart bit.
and it's like the price tag on it's pretty reasonable at Woodman's. So I have to preference that because it's only like $45.
Oh, that's like cheap, cheap.
Yeah, well,
But
that's remember that's at Woodman's, so
yeah,
it's like you probably get anywhere else, it's probably
well,
60 plus.
yeah, and I'm also thinking like cheap is, yeah, like anything under like 100 is like a cheap thing at this point for me. So it's like, I'm
Good
not really
point, very good
thinking,
point.
I'm
Yeah,
like not, yeah, I should be thinking in the same mentality I always was. So
yeah,
$45 is expensive for a whiskey, but it's like
mhm.
if you are paying top shelf and like you said, $60 or maybe even $80 at
It's
some
top
other
shelf and Wood
places.
well, it's not top shelf at Woodman's because it's like they have their rackings all weird because
Yeah, yeah,
they
they're
have
not
bottom
really like
shelf
a
stuff that's gonna
real,
be a little bit higher.
yeah,
They have
yeah,
top shelf
yeah.
stuff that's gonna be a little bit lower.
Yeah. And we've noticed that. I mean, like just over like the last 4 years, we've been hanging out and drinking all the time.
I know.
Um, I feel like our mid shelf whiskey is like our proper 12s and like our
Cheers,
1772s. And
yeah, yeah.
I feel like those always go by quicker. Like
Oof.
those
I
bottles,
got it in 1792 when dad was in
T-
the hospital. I
TX
got the bag.
bourbon.
Like, oh,
Oh,
Jesus. Man,
that's,
that's a
that
damn good
bottle
fine.
is
That's a fine whiskey right there.
dangerous,
Yeah.
but it is amazing. So, like, you love to see that kind of stuff. But yeah, so Jeff's probably not gonna be drinking tonight. He said he had a kick-ass night
Oh,
last
I
night,
did.
but I
We
love
did.
hearing that. So
It
that's
was a lot of
fun.
fun. It was a lot of fun. And I also had a really tasty cigar. It was an Irish finish that one of our friends found in Eau Claire, and it was he only was able to buy like two or three of them. He
Yeah.
wanted to buy a box, but it's like they didn't have any for him. So I don't think it's going to be available here in Lacrosse. But man, it was a really tasty with a very light. It's not even mild. It's a light mild. It's very light.
Yeah.
It's very palatable, very easy to enjoy. It burns clean. It's burns evenly long as you start to even it, but it's like it was very enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's because
We
I've
gotta
had.
make our way down the Briar Patch. It's like, I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know. It
I was just there here a couple weeks ago
Yeah,
watching more.
I don't go there, like, anymore. I like, occasionally, I would step in there and just ask for, like, "Hey, what's your best one right now?"
hmm
You know? But I haven't smoked in a long time, like, just
My
smoked anything. I mean,
my most
just that,
recent
not just that.
let's see here. I have it
I'm probably gonna pour myself a glass, but,
in a.
um, guys, and I'm not paid at all to say anything like this, but, Nectar is, like, the thing that I've been hearing about for, like, a nicotine Zyn substitute, and, it's just caffeine pouches, but it's got, like, the nootropic blend in here too, and,
Yeah.
citrulline, L-tyrosine, it's like that all
Does it
that
have
kinda stuff.
does it have Bacopa in it or not?
I don't know,
That's a real powerful nootropic.
but they just kind of, I mean, dude, there's really powerful nootropics
Yeah.
out there. I think
think
Because like I don't know, phenylpiracetam. If you've ever
Mhm.
heard of the racetam family,
Yeah.
that's like a whole adventure on itself. But you have to choline supplement with those because of how like powerful they are, you know. And it's like your body has to recover after if you take it too many days in a row or whatever. It's
Really?
like
So it's
that
like
kind of
you take
stuff.
that for when you're cramming for your ACTs.
I don't I wouldn't even like I mean, yeah, you'd take it if you were like in school or if you had like a project due or
Oh, for
work
sure.
project, whatever it would be. But yeah, it's like I don't think anything like that is gonna be in
I don't
here.
think so either, 'cause I think that's a little potent for the average user, and they want it, and
Yeah.
it's like seems like that's a very expensive ingredient. But
Yeah.
I was gonna circle
Like
back. The last one I picked up
phenylpiracetam a lot.
from Briar Patch was Diesel Worthy Fool, and I thought that was a very comfortable. That's a natural mild. It's an even smoke. It's a good one for a good rye whiskey. It's a
Diesel.
yeah. It's like I recommend with a heavy hitter with that one because it does have it's not for a uh an infrequent smoker. You know, it's like it won't be one I would recommend for you because it's like you don't smoke enough. It might be too harsh for you. The one I had
Yeah, I
last
wouldn't
night,
doubt
that
it.
would be a phenomenal one for you because it would be enjoyable for you because you don't smoke a lot. So it's like it's just like
Yeah,
kind of like whiskey. You want to
you
pick and
almost have
choose.
to have like a tolerance. It's almost like, you know, black and milds are like a great go-to for the
So
unaverage cigar
I'm gonna go
smoker.
bottoms up with this bad boy.
Yeah, you just put it in the bottom of the lip though, just like a Zin, and let it cook for a minute. You know, let it sit for a while. But it tastes
Right?
like a berry,
It
like
does.
berry minty kind of.
The initial impression is it is very fruity and it's
Yeah,
very tasty so
yeah.
far.
And again, that's like this is the one that I know I've seen like Rogan show, so I was just like, oh, but yeah, might as well give it a go.
Oh, for sure, right, man?
So I've
Yeah.
had like two of these in probably since this morning, and I'm gonna be done now until later. And
Ah,
I was like, if I'm gonna drink, I don't want to have a berry fruit thing in my mouth.
yeah. I don't think that
It'd
tastes
be
very
kind of
well.
gross.
Yeah, I don't
Unless if
think
we were
that.
drinking berry whiskey, I don't know, blackberry whiskey.
Ugh.
That's a thing that I think we've tried before.
I don't. Well, it was a topic for you because you want to try them, but it was always made by what's that cheap whiskey? It has a
Oh,
dog on it.
smoky? No,
No, no, Old Smoky. No, that's more high. That's more
no, because we have a mango bottle of them.
yeah,
No, what was it? That dog,
Bird Dog. Mhm.
bird dog whiskey. Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
gross.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
We
That's a $20 bottle of whiskey, and it's something that I would not recommend buying. That's for like if you're a high schooler or even if you're in
it's
college on a
it's
budget.
also flavored too. So like you almost just need to get like a black barrel, like a blackberry barrel,
Hmm.
and then you actually just put regular ingredients in there, and then
It'd
you
be
kind of
more
let
it'll
it like
fall in with your
like a
porton cask.
cherry cask almost.
You want to do that like in a porton cask where you'd get that where you put it in a Cabernet Sauvignon barrel
Yeah.
or something like that. Allow it ferment in there for a
And you
couple of years.
can do that. Remember we looked it up? You
Oh
can do
yeah.
it for like 5 or 6 grand or something
Mhm,
like that,
mhm.
and you can have it done over like 3 or 4 years or something.
Oh yeah.
So like
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Angels Envy does one along with Old Elk. I think Old Elk does. Don't quote me on that one, but I also know that Cedar Ridge does as well. Cedar Ridge is very fun. I really is like I tell people it's like a fireworks in your mouth and it just fades.
Yeah. No, I know you like Cedar Ridge a lot. Like I feel like
I'm a big fan.
everything you bring on the show is probably Cedar Ridge related.
Well, so far in this we've only had the quincentennial, so
Oh, okay,
quintessential.
well, it's
Mhm.
early, yeah. Oh, yeah, and then
Yeah,
Henry was the other one that you
yeah,
like.
Henry. Yeah, that was one that was just that recently discovered this year. But that one was a very peppery upfront flavor with it. So
Yeah.
it's not your cup of tea, but it's still a solid blend because it's the age there's for 5 years, which makes it a very mature one. Because with our how bipolar our weather here is in Wisconsin, it makes it feel like an 8 or 10 year whiskey.
I don't know what to cheers to tonight, but probably just to like, us 2 chilling on a pod,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
whoever's at home watching, because
For
you
sure.
guys are here too.
Oh, but cheers to the band to Spotify. Is that
Yeah.
something?
We got back.
Oh, you got it
I
back?
got it back. I had to email them though.
Yeah.
Yep. So I had to email them. One of their chat reps got out to me, and then he's like, "Hey, can you like, jump into this like DM or whatever?" And then we chatted back and forth for like 10 minutes, and he's like, "Let me talk to a soup quick." And then they just sent like a reset password, reset login for me,
Okay.
and I had to unconnect my account from Google, and then they let me sign back in with my Google account again.
Isn't that
But
something? At least you got it back.
yeah, and the episode that I uploaded is there. So
Good.
I don't know
Oh, so
why
now I can look for it and I can subscribe to it.
well, I don't know why I couldn't look like I couldn't find it. Like even from my Even from like my YouTube, I couldn't find it.
Weird, and
It
that's
was
just so
weird.
strange.
It just like disappeared off the face of the earth. And I don't know. They didn't give me any explanation. They didn't say I was
Oh, there it is,
banned or
by golly,
anything.
yep.
So yeah, we have one episode up. It should be like episode 4, episode 6, or something like that.
Boom
Um,
shakalaka, there it is.
we don't name our episodes. I think that's something, or we don't like put the title, or we don't put the episode title in.
Well, this one you put in is if you could change one thing.
Yeah, but that so like we don't number our episodes.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like
I don't number my episodes anyways because it's like this whoever you're going through to listen to your podcast already numbers it. So why do the extra work? Why would you add that extra to your thumbnail?
yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It like takes away titling potential or whatever.
Correct.
But I think that I get titling your first episode, I think, like episode 1 or the first episode or
Yeah.
something like that. But I think our first episode was like the playground or something like that. So like I don't know.
That's on YouTube.
Yeah, me and like, and that will be on Spotify. I'm gonna upload like one, two. I'm gonna upload back to back to back to back on Spotify until we catch up to our
Ah.
weekly release schedule. I just
Mhm.
had to make sure to get back into my account.
Yeah, no kidding.
And now I'm probably just gonna download like audio only for the first like 5 episodes, and then we'll do like 7 through now all like video and audio. And I
Yeah.
think that's kind of where we're
So
gonna
I need to
go.
link my YouTube with mine so I can link the episode. Right now, it's like only things on there is just the audio,
Yeah,
and so because my views on my episodes on YouTube are only like 5 to 10 people that watch it, and that's that only maybe the first 3 to 4 minutes of it or first 30
yeah,
seconds. But if you look in my down or my audio versions, it's thousands.
yeah. So you're just doing better on audio only platforms, and that's good.
Well, my demographic is they're parents. They have lives. They have
Yeah,
lives. They
they're
have husbands.
driving, they're
You're
doing
trying to drive
whatever.
you try to drive to those ones that don't have those type of responsibilities. They're on YouTube.
Yes. Well, I
Mhm.
mean, you can also so like
But
with the Spotify updates and stuff, you can like just throw the video into like mini player mode and then it'll just play on your home screen anyway. So you can
okay.
just listen to it as an audio tape, but it's just video too. But they have an option on there to launch like remove or extract audio out of the video. I don't know, whatever it is, but
Yeah.
Spotify does run a good ship for like what it is. I
They're
never
they're
knew they
very
really
innovative.
had
They're very innovative. That's what
I
the
never knew
hats
they really even
hats
had
off to them.
video until like Rogan got over there. So I had like no clue that you could
Rogan,
even upload like video.
I think
Uh,
Rogan was kind of like the launching
the
point
test
for it.
pilot for
Yeah,
okay, that would make
he
sense.
because
But
he
that
is
was
a big enough name. Was like, why not try this with him
it
and
was a
try the
couple of years ago now though.
yes,
I don't know how
yes.
long he's been over there, but I just know that like I've never
Hasn't he been over there for 4 years, 5 years? 'Cause I think either it's 2019 or 2020.
2020 sounds right because I think he had to remove I don't know if there was something on YouTube he had to remove and then he was just like, okay, how about we just like exclusive sign over the
Yeah,
which is a huge deal for him. I mean,
Mhm.
it was like
It's $100 million
some
contract,
yeah,
and that's why
over like 5 years or something.
yeah, and then that allowed him to open up the comedy mothership, which is a phenomenal thing. It's always packed, always
Mhm.
sold out.
Yeah, I could imagine like I don't how much when you get that kind of free capital, you can just move it anywhere. And you feel like, yeah, I want to start this, and you like have a fan base like that, you
Yeah.
can like just do anything.
The other thing is like when you go there, it is a minimum, a 2 drink minimum. It's like son of a bitch. It's like the back of my mind is like I'm running on a little sleep. I still got it's a 2 hour drive up here, 2 hour drive back. I got there. It's like I
You
got
said
the
it's a 2 drink minimum,
yes,
so like you have to drink.
yes. You have to order 2 drinks. You order a drink while you're in the lobby,
Yeah.
and when you come back, you have to when you go get seated, you get 2 more drinks. So what I did is I sat at the table, asked like, what does everybody like to drink for beer wise? So I said, okay, I'll order 2 of those. And
Yeah.
you guys can have them. And I managed to
Oh,
sit down
yeah,
with a couple of
yeah.
guys from overseas.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun conversation.
Dude, I think that's like the most fun about just random stuff like that. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
You're
'cause
forced to order for
Rogan
them.
was
That's awesome.
here,
Yeah.
and I was like here. I was back over here. But yeah.
So you were real close.
Oh yeah,
To
because
like the front end.
yeah, the ones around running around the stage, those are like front seats, so they're
Yeah.
a higher upcharge, but they're not more expensive than where I was, and everything beyond that is just like you just getting is timing.
General audience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
general GA, so which is perfect because like I was right at the very front.
Yeah.
I was by myself, so like I'm not here to try to keep tap with anybody. I met this one guy from
You're
California
just
that
lucky you didn't get heckled.
I was all right. Well, I walked in with 2 hats. It's like a lot of people saw it. It's like the idea was like I would like to because there's a friend of mine that that owns VIP,
Yeah.
and and it's like he always admired his appreciation of Rogan, what he's done to the hunting industry. They only live like 2 hours apart from each other. He'd be a fun guy to have on Rogan's podcast, but he's not big enough to have on his podcast essentially.
Mhm.
And but it's like the fact he's a self-taught aerodynamic engineer, along with being a nuclear physicist, is a weird situation. And it's like it'd be fun to get an autograph for him and a few other folks, but like I wasn't gonna wait. Like the show didn't get done until 1:30 because Rogan's set, like we saw on Netflix Live,
Mhm.
it was like almost 2 hours in the at the Comedy Store. Like so, everybody else was having like a 15-minute bit where he had
Yeah.
everything else, which is his place.
Yeah.
So it's like, so what? Like, if I wanted to wait to try to get an autograph, I could be there until like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's like I didn't get home until 3, and I had to be up at 7.
Yeah. And so,
Yeah,
like, that's not gonna happen.
and San Antonio's fucking weird, man, because it's like you could
I've never been to San
rains. It
Antonio.
rains randomly too,
Really?
from off the course. Yeah, so it's always raining. It's always humid. It's always raining and stuff like that. Oh, it's just unbearable. It's like we were there in October of last year, and it's like, man, why can't it just get cold already?
Yeah. Well, how, like, is it normally, like, 90 degrees and
Yeah.
just on and off rain?
The
Yeah.
week
Yeah, I've never
prior
been
was
there.
100 and some degrees with humidity.
Texas is weird because, like, some cities do get cold and then some cities don't. Like,
Yeah.
from what I know. I don't know.
Yeah, because you
But
go to El Paso, I mean, that's just
the
brutally
state
hot. It's
the
dry, it
state's
sucks.
so big.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you're in the state for, like, I think it's, like, 10 or 12 hours from going tip to tip, from side to
Yeah.
side, from El Paso to the other side over to, Louisiana or Mississippi? Way the fuck over
Yeah.
there, man.
Well, it just puts it in perspective because, like, 12 hours, you can go from, like, where we live in Wisconsin all the way down to, like, Pittsburgh in about that time.
Yeah, it's about that long. Yeah,
So
and
it's,
12
like,
hours from here
across
will
5 states.
yeah, and 12 hours from here will put you on the other side in the middle of Wyoming, which is currently under fire right now. Yeah, there's 73,000 acres that are
Really?
being burnt up, but they found a massive mine in there. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to devalue everything to go and buy everything at cheap. So they're doing so what they learned from Maui is that it was so successful because now that they're putting a bill in there where we're gonna be able to do eminent domain. They're gonna give a tax credit for those who want to give up their land and stuff like that. Whole
Sure,
bunch of
sure.
crap.
Yeah, why not?
So how successful is there? Do the exact same thing in North Carolina, which has they just signed $1 billion or $90 billion. It's either 90 billion or 90 million deal with the DoD for lithium, and that traces back to the candidate we shall not mention,
Okay,
and her husband.
sure.
And so then on top of that too, that's you also got what's going. So they're doing the exact same thing they did in Maui, trying to go there, give them cash offers, like what we talked about with FEMA and such.
Yeah.
So there's
Well, and in, like, the worst of moments, that, like, people probably are more apt to take that cash. You
well
know what
because
I
they're
mean? I
desperate.
think that's, like, one of the hardest things about all this. Like, it's happening now after Helen. It's probably gonna happen again
With
after
Milton.
Milton.
There's another one going. They have another Bruin that's going to be heading to the UK.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
Yeah, that's going to head over there. So it's like
Fun.
I don't know what kind of manipulation you're going to do up there. So it's probably may not be nice.
Jesus. Yeah, no, we can't even talk about weather
Yeah, we
in
can't talk
general,
about
but
our.
I was watching Ryan Hall y'all yesterday because he was live and dude, he hit 500,000 concurrent viewers yesterday on
Holy
his live
shit!
stream. So like 500,000, which is absolutely
I don't know who he
insane.
is though.
Okay, so Ryan Hall y'all is like a weather guy, and all he does is
Oh, is he
cover.
Oh yeah, he's the one you told me about on TikTok and YouTube.
I've been talking about it for years.
Yeah, yeah.
And I found him when he was like he had to have been like under like 20 or 30K subs on YouTube when I found him. But like, yeah, I just know I was
I
like,
really
yeah,
like his content.
this
He
is
does a
gonna
really good
blow
job.
up. And then yeah, it was like maybe 3 weeks later, we had like some of the worst storms we ever had in Iowa, south
Mhm.
of us.
Yeah, yeah.
And like it was that Cat 4
Oh, that came through
tornado
yeah,
or
came
F4 tornado that swept through that Greenville place or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, there. Yep, yep, yep.
And then like his channel blew up pretty big. Actually, it might have been earlier than that. It might have been way earlier than that.
Oh,
No,
yeah, 'cause
I don't
he's
remember.
covered
But
here. He also covered
he's covered through here. Yeah, he's covered through like
because there
the
was the
southern storm.
2020
It was probably back in 2020.
yeah, because he also covered the event that happened down there in
Was that
Cedar
yeah.
Rapids, Iowa, where we were supposed to
Oh,
go see
okay,
Bert
yeah, yeah,
Kreischer.
that one. Yeah.
He
Okay.
covered that one as well.
Yeah. So like,
I
there's
think that was probably when he was right around that maybe 20K less or sub 20.
Yeah, I don't know, but I just know that like I was watching that channel and I'm like, yeah, this guy's gonna blow up, and then like
Mhm.
maybe a year later he's at consistently like 50,000, 100,000 people watching,
Oh, easily, yeah.
which
It's
is
like
like
he's far more informative than Weather Channel is.
yeah, and I mean he's just bringing news back to the regular person, like,
Yeah,
and that's I wish we had like more of
without
that
ads. That's the biggest thing.
without ads.
Yeah,
A
that's the
huge
because that's the
thing.
upset about like with the amount of his viewership and subscribership, man. He's making bank.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. And then on top of that, the amount of money that they raise for like victims of, I mean, I'm sure they're gonna raise a lot for Milton, but they raised so much. They raised like 190K for Helen victims.
Oh, nice. That's really impressive. Good on them.
And I think they were yesterday they were at the 100K mark when I saw them. And that
Mhm.
was for Milton, and that was like before landfall yesterday.
Wow.
So I just
Yeah.
have to imagine that they probably ended up capping out because he did like a 12-hour stream
Yeah.
yesterday.
John and Rob's next door neighbor down there in Illinois. They're currently going through Milton right
Oh, they're like in Florida
now.
for
Yeah,
whatever
right now. Yeah,
reason.
yeah. So it's like they're but because they lost everything a couple years ago from one of the hurricanes. They
Probably Ian.
hit. Yeah,
Ian was a really big
messed
one.
messed everything all up and stuff. And the worst thing is you can't get hurricane insurance down there. It's like it's like
How do they yeah, like, how do people get covered by that? Like, yeah, what do you
don't
do?
you don't.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it just shows that insurance is just eventually becomes a scam, and
It's
that's how you that's
yeah.
how you recognize it. Like when you put your faith in something like that.
That is one of the most, like, normalized scams.
Yeah,
Like, when people ask, like,
it's
"Oh, what
forced
do
by
you think is
it's
the
forced by
most"
the government. That's the
yeah,
worst
it's
part.
forced, yeah. I wish because that's one thing. Me, liberals, rightists, leftists, anarchists, capitalists, communists, everybody, I think we have to, like, at least agree that you can't force a consumer product on people. 'Cause it is odd. It's just like a weird, like, equivalent to draw, like, "Oh, yeah, we're gonna make you buy this."
Because when I was younger, there was several
Like
years that I went uninsured.
yeah.
But
And that
I was in my early 20s, and it's like I was healthy. I wouldn't say I was healthy, but I was in my 20s.
'cause you know how they, like, force you to have it now when you're, like, below 26 and, like, your parents basically have to pay for it until you're
Mhm.
26?
Yep.
So, like, hypothetically speaking, like, you should be able to not have insurance
And the worst part is the
at all.
tax credit stops at the age of 18. So it's like either pay for another almost 10 years
Yeah,
minimum on you know.
8 years pretty much.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
It is something that's just nuts.
Because that was the upside when you were younger. It's like you can opt out of it, especially when you're young and struggling. It's like I can't afford health insurance. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, but I also can't afford my bills.
The next one is Social Security. If you can opt out of Social Security
That
and
was so fucking
I
nice.
could just put that money into like an IRA
The
or I could put it into
oh
anything.
oh yeah, something that
You know
actually
how much
yeah
crypto?
yes
Like
right.
just go all in on Bitcoin.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, it's the best part. You just gotta you just put you just figure out where the politicians are investing their money, and there you go.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not gonna. No one manages like what they put into their social.
There's a company out there that built an app that tracks all the movements of what Paul Pelosi is doing, and every
Oh, you
politician.
talk. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've definitely seen the copy trade apps for Nancy Pelosi,
Mhm.
and like people are just making out like
Oh
it's just
yeah,
day
why not?
trades. Like oh yeah, Nancy Pelosi like sold the stock yesterday, and then it'll just auto sell for you, and it'll like it's funny. So
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know. That kind of stuff is great. And that would all be public if the stock market ran like 24/7 and it was on some type of blockchain type thing. You could see every wallet. You could trace it back to where it goes.
Mhm.
And I think that's. Did you see the HBO documentary about like who is Satoshi Nakamoto?
No, I did. I don't know. I didn't even know there was one.
Yeah, so they had like an entire documentary release, and of course, everybody on Twitter was like talking about it because it's like crypto Twitter that I belong to, and everybody's like, "Oh, like who is it? Is it
Mhm.
Les Stassman?" And they had like all these like guesses. Adam Beck was like, of course, in the call again, and he didn't make it. Um, but like I think they ended up saying it was Peter, what's his name, Staith,
Oh, was
and
the one that created Bitcoin?
and it's not him. So like he was like accused of it in the documentary, and he's like, "That's so funny, it's not me." And then like very obviously made like a public statement after being like, "Guys, I'm not Satoshi Nakamoto. HBO got their documentary wrong. It's like a 10-hour documentary, and it's like all culminating to him, and it's wrong." So And like anybody who like is in crypto knows that too. Like that guy's been there for a long time. He's like an OG crypto cyberpunk guy,
Mhm.
but he's been there for a minute. But like it's not him. Like
Yeah.
everybody has known that for a long time that it's not the
Yeah.
guy that they call him. So
Mhm.
I just thought it was really funny. Like they just imagine doing like that much research and then just not having it right.
Yeah, that is strange. It'd be interesting to find out who it really is, but I think it's like it was one. It's probably an entity that created like probably a shadow government or something like that to be able to funnel money.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have their assumptions. It's just
Yeah,
like
like
CIA.
Dan Penny believes it was Russia that did it.
Yeah,
KGB.
but that guy's dumb
I don't know.
sometimes.
He's got a lot of
He
zeros behind his
got a
name.
lot of commas,
Yeah,
but like
yeah. But the upside of when you have that kind of
he's a
money,
boomer.
you get to buy that kind of you get to buy that kind of knowledge.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I wouldn't say it's Russia. It's
So that's
probably CIA. It's probably CIA.
KGB. There's not any difference, but I don't know if they have it. Oh,
Yeah, my guess is that like somebody in like the cyberpunk field or cyberpunk field was
mhm,
like, oh yeah, like we know how to do this, we just don't know how to implement it. And then somebody in the government just made it first to
yeah.
be like, okay, we have that tech.
Mhm.
And then like they didn't expect it to kind of like take off. It was kind of just like the government project, and then like somebody mined it, somebody
Kind of
like
like
sold
the
it,
Music Genome
just
Project.
blew,
That's
blew up.
which is now known as
The
uh
Human Genome
no,
Project,
it's the Music Genome Project. It started
Music Genome.
yeah, it's not Napster, it's not Spotify, it was the other contender. What's the
Apple Music is the
no,
big
no,
one
no,
right now.
this is even older than Apple Music. This was where the first general
SoundCloud,
no, not SoundCloud, no, even bigger than them. Even older than that.
uh,
It's what the heck is the name of that platform?
Napster,
No, no, that's downloading. It came on that generation.
LimeWire.
No,
No,
no, because
I'm kidding.
it's an app that everybody has. It's like I can't remember what it's called. I'll bet I can. I'll just look it up
You probably
online.
have the app on your computer.
I actually stopped using because I didn't like it, but I know what it is. I just can't remember what it is. That's the worst part about having.
MySpace.
No, no, this is a music app. Let's go to
Just to fill that air. I'm probably gonna drink a little bit more.
Pandora.
Oh, Pandora.
Yep, that's what because I was a subscriber
Forgot.
from back when there was that called before it morphed into Pandora.
I forgot about Pandora.
Yep. Pandora's kind of a sleep. Like everybody forgets about it, but it's so plagued with ads, and it's like their fees are more expensive than Spotify. And it's like it's just I don't even have my podcast on Pandora.
Oh yeah, you don't put a podcast on Pandora. You just put like radio stations on there, right?
Yeah, it's all music. It's all their
I
whole
f-
idea was to be random.
I forgot about Pandora, man.
Because Pandora, it's one of the first algorithms where it's like you like stuff and it would form your playlist
A
to
potential
playlist
playlist.
for you.
Yeah, it's like
But
an
it's
algo.
pulling from everything. So if you start off like liking Godsmack and ACDC and Tool and Perfect Circle, and it's like then it'll start finding other bands that you would never find in the mainstream. So it's like it's trying to find the underlings that nobody knows about.
Yeah, that's so funny. I just forgot about Pandora completely. Like that. That was like off the map for me. So, kind of changing pace here, Jeff. Do you think that we need to change B tier in any way? I'd asked Phil for context. I'd asked Phil this last time we were on like a Solo Dolo podcast, like where it's just us two.
I don't see any change.
Okay,
The only thing we would request, the only thing we would need is an audio version.
an audio version.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's the only real thing. But now we have that link to Spotify, so it's like that is now resolved.
yeah. Let me know. I guess like you can try it later, see if you can listen in your truck or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
I'll put it on there. But
because I
otherwise,
think
there's like we're our shorts are fire. Or we have our I just did another. Cause you can only do it so often, but with Facebook, I did another blast of 1,000 followers.
oh nice
And that generated a few hundred. That generated I don't know plus or minus 100, 150.
likes for the page,
Yeah, for the
likes
page.
for
Yeah,
our page.
yeah.
Cool.
The only thing is since what I recommend doing since you're not on social media, it's like you should tag both of us. This way, that cross um, tagging platform will allow for to draw more traffic because then I'm able to like let's say somebody goes off on something I said, then I can make it a reel out of it, and that's how, how Meta builds their algorithm off of it, of all that stuff. So like
Okay.
yeah, because like I'll show you for an
Well,
example what
because
it comes down to
we can
my
have
Instagram.
I can have Phil like tag you in ones that you're in and tag Jesse in one. Well,
Yeah,
Jesse doesn't
because
use Facebook anymore either.
yeah, look at my most
Dude,
This is my most recent one. It's almost at what 80,000, I think.
Yeah, 70K.
Yeah, but it's
Or we'll
because
round up 69K.
but see what I mean though? It's because of the comments and shares and all that fun stuff. It's like you want to drive traffic. The biggest thing to do is like you want to. I can take that video and when people reshare it and stuff like that, it just adds up. Because then
Yeah,
I can able to comment on that. Because the idea is to drive traffic, and that's how they want to get that interaction. Because they want everybody's attention on the platform, not what's going on in reality.
exactly. Exactly.
Because that's why nobody knows really what's going on between everything that is happening. Because World War III is potentially about ready to kick off in the Middle East, and here we are, and it's like economy's growing. I don't think so because it's even my friend Darren says it's like right now it's like
This
his real
is
estate business is slowing down.
this is the strangest recession I've ever been
It's a silent,
in.
it's more like a silent depression because
Yeah.
nobody's
But I mean,
uncomfortable enough to do
the
something.
stock market just keeps going up.
It's being artificially inflated. It's like
I know, we all
it's a
know
cocaine
that.
addict that the feds keep on feeding
W-
its money.
We all know that, but it's basically so you can delay. We're in like a stagflation, right? That's kind of like what I've been told. And it's like everybody the job market, you don't want to quit your job right now
Nope.
because then you won't have a job and you can't get another job,
Yeah.
right? If you don't currently have a job, you're not finding a job. It's the same thing with the housing market. You don't want to move right now because you might not be able to find a house, and you might not be able to, buy a house with anything close to what you bought your current house with, and you're locked in with interest rates.
Mhm.
It's the same thing with like even buying a car because the used car market hasn't really come down yet. Although you might see a bit of a change with nationwide prices just because of the hurricane stuff going on.
Mhm.
Salvage cars are gonna be coming out of this like south market quite a bit, so we might
Sure.
see something change there.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Not
kind of
that that
interesting to see
should
how many
be
more Teslas catch on fire.
well, that shouldn't be like the catalyst really either that people like predict the market on. So like
No,
I'm just not gonna, you know, relate too much to that. But
we gotta go to the
we kind
strippers.
of
We gotta find out what the strippers say.
yeah, right, exactly. We got to find out how many strippers have housing loans right now because that's gonna be our
Yeah. It's
indicator.
like who's all paid off their loans? It's like walking to a strip club before everybody's like, who all
Yeah.
paid off their loans?
Well,
Okay.
nowadays it's OnlyFans. We got to reach out to OF models and see how many like actual numbers they're doing. Because that's gonna be it. I don't know if the
Yeah.
numbers are higher. That means that people are depressed, right?
Mhm.
Isn't
Yeah.
that kind of how it goes?
Yeah. I was watching, I don't know if you ever watched, they did the same What's in the Water documentary. I think you and I watched that separately, but it's like he came on and was talking about the American Association of Diabetes. It was like started in 1939. It's basically quadrupled. It's like like they're predicting here in a couple of years, it's going to be like 150 people, 150 million people are going to have diabetes. It's like, so, and we're still giving this organization money. It's like
Yeah.
something like 2 billion a year. And it's
Well,
like, this
that's
sounds
why
like a
when
scam.
something like Ozempic came out, like I think that'll
Get, did
actually
you
prevent a lot of
Did you know with
diabetic.
Ozempic, you once you start, you can't get off of it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, it's because you
and
get
it's then there's already a class action lawsuit brewing, so it's like,
yeah, but people are so dumb.
they're
How
lazy.
well,
They're
how
lazy.
do you not so like I will say this, okay? The the gym bros are winning. The gym bros are on top right now. They've been saying this kind of stuff for a long time. You get so like Ozempic in particular, it's a diabetic resistant drug. So
Mhm.
like I guess it's ketosis, but it would be like the sugar breakdown molecule stuff. So it's like your actual like levels of sugar in your body cannot be retained after you get off of it because you are taking a drug to supplement them for the time being,
Yeah,
right?
my uncle's on it. He's like, if I would known I would never be able to get off it, I would have stopped taking it.
Yeah,
So
well, I
it's
mean,
yeah,
it's like
it's 300 bucks a month.
it's basically
It's
like
fucking
insulin
expensive.
too. So like it's an insulin resistant drug, or
Mhm. And
and
then the worst part
it
was his
trains your
diabetes is not that bad.
yeah, that's even worse.
Yeah, my dad's on metformin, but it's like
Yeah,
he's now his doses are dropping down because he's done such a good job of his diet.
yeah. No, that's like and I think there is a way to like get off of it safely, but I think you just have to like it's such a withdrawal if you just cut it. Like
Yeah, it's
I
it's
think
pretty
that's what
nasty.
it
It's,
is.
it's
It
probably
takes
about as bad as getting off H.
yeah, yeah, pretty much. Because then
Mhm.
you gain all that weight back if you
Oh yeah.
don't do it right. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
that's the biggest predictor is like when people get off, it's gonna the overweight population is gonna skyrocket because of that.
yeah,
Because
it's
everybody's
probably gonna jump up worse. It's gonna
Mhm.
come back. Like your
Especially when you
weight's
look
gonna
at
come back, and it's gonna be harder to shed.
and have you see all the celebrities on it? They have the Ozempic face, the Ozempic chin, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like wait until they try to get off of it.
Yep.
Man, it's like Yeah, it's like that's the upset
Um,
about being old is like I don't know who the hit celebrities are, but most of them are all kind of trash anyhow. So
yeah, the new ones, like, it's weird because, like we live in this society right now where it's like there's so many different algorithms that people are getting shifted through and stuff. You can't ever really blow up. Like, there's people that do, and there's people that cross over that everybody, like, Kai Cenat, Mr. Beast, you kind of hear like those names, Jake Paul,
yeah.
Logan Paul,
But
KSI. You
isn't
kind of hear like
did you hear
those
about
names.
Logan Paul's raid by the FBI? Yeah,
No.
they got his house got raided, so like they believe
When
he
was
has
that?
recently. That's how I
Would have
found
been
out.
within the last week or so because
Yeah,
I haven't heard it at
yeah,
all.
because he got raided because he had because the FBI had been watching for a while, and so when the
For
feds,
what?
I don't know, that's the thing. They came in, they raided as
Huh?
Florida or no California Calabasas home. He had a variety of he had a lot of guns,
Oh
like
yeah.
way too many guns, and I guess based off of his chatter or something like that, he
Huh.
must have said some key words that he could be wheeling and dealing without an FFL.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's something that's
I
been
feel
kind of
like
hush
that's
hush.
such a dumb crime to go in for, especially since like he's making money in so many different avenues. You know?
My thoughts are like he could be like if I made his money, I'd probably have a very impressive collection too as well, but
Yeah,
probably
but
be
you wouldn't be
higher
selling.
end.
You wouldn't be selling them off.
Fuck no, I don't. You don't. You never sell guns. You never. You
Yeah.
listen to the Jewish immigrants. You never sell guns.
Jewish immigrants. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, you're not wrong.
yeah.
You're not wrong. Yeah, so that's crazy, but I did not hear any of that. So good luck to him. And
Mhm.
hopefully, I mean, it sucks that like our rules are the way that they are, but you have to follow them for the time being until they're not. So just
And
hopefully
plus, you're
you're
in a
all right.
state
I
that's not gun friendly. It's like, why would you want to have a collection that's in a state that's very, very uh fist and sickle attitude?
like I said, it's a very dumb thing to get rated for,
All right, yeah.
especially when he's making that kind of money.
Hmm.
Because you don't need to be selling guns. Like you make money
Yeah.
selling Lunchly or whatever he's
And if
his
you're looking a way to
Lunchables.
diversify your income, go out, go to Las Vegas, go to Arizona, go to some place that's
He has
very
He has so many different ways to diversify income
yeah.
as it is. I don't even think he needs to go anywhere.
Because plus, if you're gonna do that, it's like why don't like if you have that kind of money, it's like you can go someplace where you can build a gun range, build a really nice place
Texas,
here. Yeah,
yeah, go
like that.
anywhere.
So why do you think we have Vortex here? Because they have a beautiful range. I don't know. Yeah, I've been
I've
to it
never been
twice.
there.
Yeah, it's worth the trip, man. It's really impressive, and what they get to test and what they can do with. But I got even got to see the new uh sniper. I want yeah, it's a sniper scope that has auto ranging and target acquisition. It's a $12,000 scope. I saw it at 50 yards. It looks pretty cool. Then I
Yeah.
got to see the SAS special ops one that they have.
Okay.
That thing is like it's a 1x10. It's only about this thing, about that long. But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the lens on it's about that thick. They and the special forces in the UK shopped around to everybody and nobody else that could do it. And they said, sure, we'll do it. We'll
Yeah.
figure it out. And they
That's
did, and
nice.
it's like that thing is heavy. It weighs like plus or minus a
Well,
pound. So
and
it's
like
probably
the
like
length that
16,
you're
18.
saying too, it's like an LPVO. So like
Yeah,
you can
it's
just
stupid small. It's
so,
like
like,
4 grand.
so like when you
So
aim those types of those types of sights too, it's just instant. I mean, it's just
mhm.
like up, boom, gone, dead.
Yeah.
Whoever's there, whoever needs to be gone,
Oh yeah,
gone.
talk about like if you want to maximize your gray man persona, it's like talk about a phenomenal setup.
Yeah. The best gray man setup right now though is definitely just like a Glock 19 or a Glock 43 as a side carry.
Yeah,
That's it.
43s are nice. I really like the 43. It fits
I'm
my
gonna
hand very well.
I think I'm gonna pick up a 43 because I didn't like my 19 that much. My 19 was like kind of trash.
I'm not a fan of it either.
I ended up
But it's
like
like my hands are pretty big. Like, the 43 though is very impressive.
yeah. I ended up buying like a serialized upper and I printed a lower for a Glock 19. And that one's better than the one that I own. So like I don't know what maybe the one that I have was just like a used one and it like never worked well or whatever. And then like my printed one like is amazing.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. I don't know what happened there.
The nice thing about being a mechanicalized tool is you just got to figure out what part is not doing what it's supposed to be doing, and it's
Hmm.
like that's where you have to go to become a gun tech. But it's like
Yeah.
that's honestly like if I were to start over tomorrow, or if like let's say I lost my job, I'd become a gun tech, become a gunsmith.
Yeah. Me too.
Just because it's like it's one, it's a dying art, and two, it's like you're always gonna be in demand. So when shit hits the fan, it's like I'm a gunsmith.
Yeah.
You bet your ass you're gonna be far more saved than anybody else. It's like, oh, you're coming with me.
Learn ammo loading. That'll put you in the right spot
Reloading?
too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad used to,
So
a lot. I know a lot of guys that reload and stuff like that, but that's a science in itself. It's
it
really
is.
cool. I did a 3-hour podcast with just about reloading, and we barely touched the
Oh
surface.
yeah, you gotta do like college level course for that probably at this
No, it just
point.
comes out with experience, and then it's you can do that all with an apprenticeship. Because remember,
Maybe we'll
colleges are
go
very
there.
left leaning, they're
Yeah,
very
yeah,
anti-gun, so you have to find
yeah,
somebody that's
yeah.
willing to take the time to teach
Me,
you.
yeah. I was gonna say you just have to know somebody, but that would
And
be
it's very easy
something.
to find someone who wants to teach you.
Like a lot of people, if the world like went to shit or whatever right now, a lot of like those back office office pushers, like paper pushers, and a lot of like influencers and all of those jobs would just like disappear
Mhm.
overnight. And a lot of those people do not have transferable skills to anything,
No,
you
no.
know?
That's why I try to learn as much as I possibly have done, and over the last 20 years of my life, last like 30 years of my life, because it's like I started learning different skill sets when I
Yeah.
was younger and stuff like that. So from when you do into carpentry or to plumbing, it's like a lot of stuff is very easy. It's just it's like if you don't go through like an apprenticeship, you're gonna stub your toe more or less. But it's like
Yeah.
it's something that's easily diversified and learn. You just got to have the ambition for it. Kind of like with me and cooking, you know. It's just you just experiment, and some of my experiments are hits, and some of them were just that was disgusting.
Yeah, no, it's like it's worth the learning though. But yeah, I
Mhm.
know we had talked about it, I think like 3 episodes ago with Kayla, but we had like the money question pop up and it was like out of the hat or whatever, but it was like, does money equal happiness and all that. And then we ended up talking about how like a lot of people are sad because they don't really have like an in they don't really like do anything day to day. Like a lot of people do just like go to their 9 to 5. It might pay you well enough,
Kind of like a
feed your
factory job is
family.
what you're like. What? Not meaning like a factory
More
job, but
more
it's
like
very
office,
rudimentary.
more like office jobs,
Yeah.
just in general.
Yeah,
Like
my
all of
office
them are,
job is not as easy as people think it is. There's a lot of stressors, and it's
uh,
like, uh,
and I'm
but
sure
but there are some ones that
there
are
are a
that
lot
it's
more.
very task driven, and
th-
that's it.
I mean, there's a lot of office jobs where like people don't even know how like zip files work. You know what I mean?
That
And
yeah,
like
yeah.
those office jobs, like those are remedial. Those are not really
Th-
like
Those will
meaningful
be
at
replaced
all.
by AI because like right now, like
Probably.
they
Yeah.
there's there's a need for truck drivers. There's a need for auto mechanics. There's a need for electricians, stuff like that. 'Cause a lot of these guys are like that are my dad or older, 10 years older than me, 15 years older than me. They're looking to
Yeah.
retire. It's like some of these guys have
Oh.
a very a luxurious career to
When
be able to
when
work
I
with.
was talking to Alicia's dad at your
Oh,
place,
Rob, yeah.
he was mentioning like, he was telling me that like does he work at a factory?
No, he works for the EPA. He works for a subcontracted company or for the EPA.
Okay.
So for
Cause
him, it's just like it's basically a walk around circle jerk.
yeah. Cause he was telling me like, oh yeah, like a lot of these factory guys that live around me or whatever were like, always worried about getting replaced and worried about like the new people coming in and like getting rid of the older people. But they haven't like hired anybody really for like 50 years at a lot of these places
Well, because it's
because these new kids don't want to work in factories.
but
Like they're,
that's what the only fear they really have is with the open border policy. That's the real fear. Because like if you look at
yeah, maybe.
JBS, Cargill, Hormel, you walk into the thing and it's like English is a second language.
Yeah,
Because it's like they can
that would
go in
make
there. It's like
sense, I
you
guess.
want to worry about equal pay. It's like they can bring. It's like if they can get somebody that's undocumented or immigrant here and stuff like that, they can pay them $5
Half
less.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where the real thing is. So it's like if you're really ladies, if you're really worried about feminism. It's like if I can find somebody that I can replace you that speaks a second language, and it's like there's your real gripe.
The real inflation.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, there you go.
that's like the crazy thing about all of that is like I don't know, I've been hearing like the long grand conspiracy things that like, it's big business importing people over the border for cheap labor. And I've heard that my entire life almost. And it's like it's true, right? So like you either want to completely prevent that as a nation or you want to make it really easy to come here and like get that cheap labor for your companies. I don't know. Cause I know a lot of people who I know a lot of people who will not do the basic labor stuff.
Oh,
You know what I
I've done
mean?
all I've shoveled shit. I have
But
mopped up stuff is like it's
I'm
like
just speaking from like kids in my
yeah.
generation.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
They think they're way above that. Like
That's
they will
they have
hire
not been humble with a big slap in the face.
they will hire somebody to do like, you know, their whatever, land yard work, whatever it would be. They'll just hire somebody to do it. They
Oh
won't
yeah,
do it
my
themselves.
mother-in-law talks about it all the time with her jobs. So like, she gets some with the NBA coming in there and they got this chip on their shoulder, but it's like I can find somebody that's off the street that's actually off the street that's more passionate about it, and I can offer them the same wage, and they're gonna be far more grateful with it without the attitude.
Mhm.
And like the worst part is like there's a they have some real issues with some diversity and stuff like that. 'Cause they gotta meet that diversity hire, the
Yeah.
ESG hire. So
Yeah, I don't know how that's all gonna fly. I saw Toyota was getting rid of their DEI stuff. Um
because it's
and
trash.
everybody was calling them Jap Nazis online, and I was like, that's kind of funny, but
Yeah,
it's also like,
they're lucky that's like because I think because Toyota's publicly traded, so if they're able to make their company private again, you can get rid of your biggest bullies, which is your Berkshire Hathaway, your
yeah.
BlackRock, and Vanguard. That's why
Vanguard.
like
Mm, mhm.
Bass Pro Shops,
I hear
Bell's have
you.
done so well is they're not public. Uh, X not
Yeah,
public.
getting out of like the public area is probably the public sector.
Because if you're public and it's like you get because these three companies talk to each other, it's like they're able to like, okay, we're all this is what we want to enforce. Okay, you're gonna buy 8%. You're gonna buy 12%. Then you're gonna turn around. You're gonna buy 15%. Now
Yeah,
between all that, well, you're our bitch now. Bend over.
pretty much. Got to do what they do. Um, I was talking about this on my show Wednesday. I went live for gaming, which I wasn't even gaming. I gamed for 25 minutes on my show on Wednesday, and then I
Yeah.
did like a 2 hour yap session with chat. It was kind of fun actually, but chat was talking about it. They're like, you know, when do you get too big, and like when do you have to start moderating yourself in order to like keep advertisers and sponsorships and all that stuff? And my answer to that was I either think you go that route right away, or you're not going that route right away. And that's
Yeah.
just from what we've seen. With Dosed
Yeah.
After Dark, like that got taken off before we could even get a sponsorship.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the same kind of way is like if you already self-censor yourself, like yes, you might be able to get a sponsorship, but that stuff can all get taken away overnight if you say the wrong thing
I've
anyway.
been pretty lucky with the people I hang out with because we're all on the same page. We don't like
Yeah.
ESG, we don't like DEI,
And
and it's like I've
th-
been very fortunate with that.
that's the thing. You just need to like sponsor
And on
with
top of it, too,
people
all of
that
the companies I work with
yeah.
are all private.
You need to have sponsors that are like already on the same page as you. That's
Yeah,
like what
that's the
we
biggest thing.
concluded on my show too,
Uh huh.
obviously. But it's just like, you know, if you want to be able to like chill and kind of say whatever you want to, like you can't really partner with anybody big.
Nope,
Can't
you
do
cannot.
or you have to partner with big companies that have publicly stated like we're not going to enforce like this type of stuff on anybody, on our clients or on
Hmm.
our clientele or whatever. Um, but it is tough to find. It's few and far between, and
Oh
I
yeah.
think a lot of people are like still kind of scared. I don't know how long that goes on for. I think that's probably going to turn around here pretty soon. Um,
Mhm.
but you know, like even you know, when you have people that like can't publicly endorse a candidate that they like because like, you know,
They're
whatever would
publicly
happen.
traded.
Yeah, because whatever would happen in like their private life would like be detrimental.
That's
So I
why it's
think a
like for
lot of
me, like
people
I
are
try to remove
nervous.
what I do away from anything that like that involves the company I work for because
Yeah.
they're right on the board. They're one of the top contributors to the board. So
Yeah.
I'm mindful of that. So it's like even my leadership, I blocked them all on all platforms from LinkedIn to Facebook to Instagram. It's like I don't want to
Yeah.
see any of them in my face feed because it's like some of them may be low, some of them are
Just
low
the
key.
off chance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of them are low key on the same page we are, but some of them are like like orange man bad horribly.
Other way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know,
Oh,
it's
did you hear about the
I'm so-
court the Trump case? It got kicked over to the appellate court and they dismissed it.
of course
And
the
now they want
conviction.
now they want to turn around. They want to investigate the DA was trying to go after it. So it's like I knew
Jesus
this was going to
Christ.
happen. So
Well,
guess what
yeah,
I did? I said it to all my liberal friends. Look at this shit right here. Look at
yeah,
this.
we knew that was gonna happen though.
Yeah,
Like I mean, the court
you
of
and I did, but the ones that live in fantasy land
yeah, the
with
court of appeals is where you win those cases. But yeah, it's you know, there's always there's a lawyer that I follow, and he's always like, if you have to win in the court of appeals, you already lost the case because like people just get the front end news anyway.
Mhm.
It's like, well, he already like lost that case, so it's like doesn't really matter after that. Unfortunately, the court of public opinion works in a completely different manner
Oh
than
yeah.
any legal sense, and we all know that. Sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's really bad. I could go at length at that, but I know he was like Trump was on Andrew Schultz this week, and by the time this comes out, it's going to be like past the election, hopefully. So we'll see what happens in a couple weeks. But he was on Andrew Schultz, and he was
That's pretty tasty. I don't know. I don't feel so fuzzy.
the nectar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it gets rid of that brain fog a little
Mhm.
bit. Yeah, I like I
I
said,
don't know
not as
how long you're supposed to have it in your mouth for. So.
not yeah, it's not too long. I mean, I guess you can have it for 20, 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
Yeah,
Um,
something like that. Yeah, it's like you never know with these particular products and how long.
if you want another one, go for it though. Like I said, they're only 50 milligrams, so like it won't really keep you awake that late tonight.
Made in Sweden.
It's not like doing Provigil or anything like
From
that.
the Sweden we love.
Um, but yeah, I just know that like kind of with how this whole thing has been going, this election cycle in particular, I think it's odd that they took the Internet Archive offline recently. I don't know if you saw that.
Did not hear about that.
They got like removed and all that. So I don't know how this is all gonna like play out long term. I'm kind of interested in just like
Kind
what happens.
of
Um,
like people will say like World War III or Civil War in America, and it's like people don't care enough to stand up and fight.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, what do we all? I mean, this is like the thing that we kind of all stand on, right? It's like right now, it's very clear where the dividing line is.
Oh yeah. Well,
It's the A word. You can't talk about it.
yeah, yeah.
But that said, right now, what that represents is you have like potential woman in office, or you have potential orange man in office, right? And I think that's where the party line lies. Like, I think that's where like in the liberal right and like it's weird when you have like the factions that you do on the right side of that politics because Trump is really the only unifier in all of that. Like without Trump or without JD Vance, most of the right is just like small little group factions that don't really necessarily align on anything. Like they align in general like on leave me alone policy. But
Mhm.
like leave me alone um doesn't really clash with and there's another faction to the right that is scary. It's like the actual like Nazism and stuff because
Mhm.
that stuff is still existent in
Believe me,
America.
I'm within the outdoor world, so like, there's very little outrage about all the antis getting into power and stripping everything away. It's like if you can't get outdoor men to get together to fight about this stuff,
Yeah. That's crazy. It's
Yep.
like insane, but
Consider like every president that talked about bringing his own currency is dead.
no, I never heard that.
Oh yeah, you look up any assassinations over the last 20 years. Like you look at any president, African president was wants to bring their own currency. They're all end up dead.
Yeah, I mean, I guess after what's his name? We came, he saw, he died.
Which one was
What?
it? Would that be McAfee?
No, no, no. John McAfee. It wasn't James.
Well, he's
He was a big Monero guy, but I
yeah.
mean that was about it. He was the privacy crypto guy. He liked a lot of
But
those guys. What was the one? Was it Hillary Clinton killed him? I don't remember. Oh, I guess I probably can't say that.
no, shh.
Yeah,
He
he
was
came.
he was.
They came. He saw. He died. It's whatever that quote is. The guy got stabbed in the butt.
I don't recall
Like
that one.
gruesome video.
Yeah, there actually
Gruesome video.
somebody actually recorded
It was on
The,
Live Leak. Yeah, you could watch it on like the internet. I guess at the time it would have been like Live Leak, but
or was it?
somebody filmed him getting literally butt effed by a knife,
Ooh.
and he died.
Oh, well, there's a lot of arteries there. You get the femoral artery right down there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of somebody in the comments is gonna know him right away.
I
We could
hope
even
so.
put a short here, and somebody will already know like who it is. Like, oh, I can't believe they killed that guy. But whatever. Yeah, it was he was trying to make his own currency. He was trying to do like his own banking thing, and then all of that stuff got like leaked out.
yeah,
They
yeah.
just, like
You can't monkey with the Fed,
CIA
man.
CIA just puts somebody in there, and they're like, yeah, let's start a war, and then a civil war happens, and they
I
kill
don't
him.
know. Somehow Andrew Jackson managed to figure that out when he was in office.
Yeah,
That's
that's
why
a
they blame
tricky
him for
one,
the Trail of Tears.
and that did happen under him.
It was
That
eventually going to happen regardless. It just happened
it
to happen
it
underneath
just
him.
happened under him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because remember, there's always the powers that be.
that's how they whitewash it in history though. Like
Mhm.
so, it's like a different thing. Cause yeah, like when I say whitewash, I guess in history, I don't mean it like the way that I was thinking it. But anyway, yeah, it's like that's how they kind of do it. They like paint one bad thing, so like the rest of his
Yeah,
actual accomplishments can be overshadowed by one thing
yeah,
that
because he was the
that
one.
did happen. That was bad, but
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
yeah,
But his
because
biggest accomplishment is he stopped the Fed
stopping the feds,
for
man.
other 83 years.
Yeah, and then you have Woodrow Wilson. God bless his soul in hell. 'Cause he definitely did not make it. You ever like I don't know his last statement on like his dying breath, or like like his last like diary entry is like I wish I didn't do that.
Oh, the
I wish I
military
didn't
industrial complex.
let
Yeah.
Jekyll Island happen. So it's always a fun one. Anyways, let's pick a name from a hat, and then from here I think we'll just answer this question. I don't know what we're doing for time. We're probably about an hour in though.
Start at 5:30 should be all right. and also, or you can change it to the work you're avoiding. And it's like this is like if I didn't go here today, it's like I'm going to miss out on an opportunity to have a conversation with my friends. Now because of having this, I might have a little this Aberfeldy because it's a
No, it's
solid whiskey.
yeah, go for
You
it.
know,
Honestly,
I just don't have
I'll
any
go
eyes.
grab ice real quick.
But
Let me grab.
for those who are listening to
Oh,
this, what's that?
you said something too. You said that you didn't really like the kind of like the bad leadership in your life when you were like younger and into now. I'm assuming because bad leadership kind of carries forward with you anywhere you go.
Yeah,
If you're not trying to like lead yourself, I'm not even gonna sit here and pretend like I'm a good leader or whatever. But
yeah.
um, I I think growing up, like I probably still I don't know if it's like a suffering thing. I wouldn't call it suffer, but I definitely have some type of like operational defiant disorder in me where it's just like, authoritative defiance that's like a defined, I don't know if it's in the DSM now, but ADD is, ADHD is, I'm sure it is.
Some type of tism.
Yeah, sometimes some type of autism, exactly. um, but yeah, the when authority figures tell me to do something and I just go ahead and not do that, like I get joy out of that, because it's just like, well, if I can, and I think, obviously everybody wants what's in your best interest. So they're always trying to like tell you, hey, you should go to this or you should go do that or you should do that way or whatever, because then you can like not make the same mistakes that they make. But there is something to that when if you fail upwards frequently enough, you can afford to make the mistakes that they made. You maybe learn a way better lesson than you would have if you didn't do that. And then you can like keep going up and like failing up essentially. The
Yeah.
upward spiral. I know we call it that all the time. I heard Dr. Jordan B. Peterson on the Nelk Boys the other day. He was talking about the upward spiral. And I was like, when did that come into like fruition or when did everybody start talking about that? But it's just do learn commit. It's just over and over and over again. And I think like me actively ignoring a lot of the authoritative figures in my youth has made me so honed in on like what risk I'm willing to take and what risk I'm not willing to take. And that's another thing that I think I honor myself from when I was a youth, when I was younger. And it's something that's like just consistently stuck with me. It's built my character up to where I am today. And although I'm not nowhere near like full potential yet. Like if I had to put it on like a Super Saiyan level, not even close to over 9,000 yet. And I think when I kind of just when I look at that, looking at it now in another 10 years, I can't even imagine like what type of character person I'm gonna be.
For sure. Yeah.
And
I
can't
respect
wait.
that. Yeah.
I can't wait.
Because see, like I've always
The joy is of the work that hasn't been done
yeah,
yet.
yeah.
And if it's only gonna get happier from here, man.
Yeah. And one of the things
Oh,
like so this
world
is,
better watch out, not
so
just you.
this was an
I'm gonna go
interesting.
grab you ice.
Okay,
Hold your story. Hold
yeah,
your story.
I'll talk about something different though.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
have a story for that kind of reflects on some things that had happened in my youth, why I haven't reached some of the potentially the potential that I could be at. Um, but when I mentioned poor leadership, you'll see that in your surrounding in your life. Usually it always like when you're younger, when you're under the age of 18 and you're in the home life, you can see your leadership between your mom, your dad, if you have step parents, whatever that may be the case for you. But you can see what they did wrong or what they did right. You can either improve upon it or you can follow the same things. But having an imagination was a key factor in creating what I'm at today. I feel that having less interaction with technology is a much more appreciative of what I have today. I think that's where I really strive to be, and like with my own flesh and blood, my own offspring. I want her to experience life like I did, doing stuff my dad did for me. It's like going and traveling, going to go to the caves, go camping, go fishing, like having experiences like that instead of sitting in front of a computer. But the story that I held off on was like, so you, this dates me here, but I played a lot of Sims back in the day, in early '90s, stuff like that. And one of the things was unlimited money. And what it showed me is that I just got bored, and it's like, and I became unappreciative of the things I could be able to achieve because I had infinite money. And
You put
it's
like the hack on there for
yeah,
infinite
well,
cash.
cheat codes are pretty easy to come
Oh,
across here.
you can go ahead. I
And
froze your glass
I
too, so
see
it
that.
should be pretty cold.
That's pretty nice. That's a solid strategy right there. And I think that's why it's always kind of like I like having the lack of being able to, because like I'm afraid like if I had, oh, let's say I had unlimited money coming in, like, or I'm making bank and such, and I'm fishing all the time, hunting all the time, I think I'll lose the appreciation of it because I'm able to do it every single day.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I think
Yeah.
with having the job I do have and the environment that I've created for me, I like these once or twice a year trips to Okoboji because they're so impactful. And since it's such a small or finite time that I make the most of it.
Yeah.
You know, and as I like
Because
that restrictive process of
imagine
it.
you could go to Okoboji every weekend. The shine would like unluster, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like
Um.
you lose that gravity to it all. But
Yeah.
the upside too as well. It's like I noticed that not all like if I'm the one making infinite money, how do I get this? You know, my friends around me, but it's like they're scared. They don't know they're uncomfortable with what they don't know, and sometimes they feel more comfort in that 9 to 5. It's a weird because
Yeah.
like I think it's like it all comes
No.
down subconsciously and like some of their triumphs and their then how they were how their wins were celebrated when they were younger.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna agree.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'm talking out my ass, but it's like a lot of that
No.
stuff kind of makes sense to me because it's like
Um.
I try to celebrate my
Think
friends' wins, and
think
stuff
about
like that.
how much comfort the average person has in a 9 to 5. Like, I mean, why would they want to get rid of that comfort? Like, what are they striving for? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? A lot of people don't really have like that type of ambition or that type
Mhm.
of like, all I want to do is get rid of my 9 to 5 job and go do something like I can make my own hours or whatever. A lot of people don't have that mentality.
Mhm. And then on top of that too, it's like maybe they were never shown the creative tools to develop something that they want to do. Because it's like I just like decided to do one day I want to do podcasting, so I just did the research, started doing it. You know,
Hmm.
I like things that are challenges. That's why I keep up. That's why I've been playing Magic since the '90s because it's always evolving. It's extremely challenging. It allows me to have my social aspect, the competitive aspect of it, and an ROI on it. Because like there's cards that I have now that are worth hundreds of dollars because I was able to find one of those random ones that just skyrocketed, you know? But
Yeah.
it's you know, those key things, those allowed me to just to continue doing it because I think a lot of that comes down to like I was able to go outside and play, like
Hmm.
living in the country, and I feel bad for the kids these days because like it's so dangerous living in a concrete jungle because
You never know.
there's so
You
much
never know.
evil out there
Yeah.
that good men have stopped putting those bad men 6 feet under.
Yeah. Well, and I think you had mentioned something too when I was in the other room grabbing you ice, but you had mentioned like your imagination and like your creativity and having like an outlet for that, right? And I think a lot of people generally when they get older, they lose that lack of creativity. They lose that lack of drive and kind of like outwardly expression of like that particular part of their mind. Um Kind of at their detriment, kind of not. It depends what type of person you are, what you actually want to do, you know? And this is something too to mention. I think like when you say like, oh yeah, if I had infinite money in Sims and I was able to go out and fish every single day and I was able to go, hunt every single day, it would kind of get rid of the importance of that, right?
And it's like
Because happiness in general is usually lack of suffering, and it's usually like the places that you find meaning in
Mhm.
the meaningless, right?
Yeah.
So if every day you get to go out and do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it, and you have infinite money, a lot of things you have to almost make it the meaning out of, right?
Mhm.
And usually that is work. Usually that is like hard work.
Which is what's where we what you and I have always concrete cement in is your purpose.
Yeah.
And finding that purpose at an early age because you look at all these celebrities with that, we see that like once they reach a certain income level, they get bored of everything because now everything's at their fingertips, and so that's when you start seeing them dip into dark arts and doing bad things, and because it's like well they can get away with and stuff like that, and like kind of like what's going on with the distraction of Diddy because it's like he's just the guy that's taking the fall. There's like 17, 18 other people that
All
are linked to
connected
it,
to
but we
that.
can't
Yeah.
mention names because like I've seen some people on like I watched this one creator take one person that had connection with Diddy and she started dropping some high profile names and she
Hmm.
got real scared real fast and she kind of became a recluse because those people with that real power
Yeah.
started like they started having influences on her life where she became a recluse of herself and that's where it can be kind of scary because you've chased all of those dopamine drips.
Yeah.
I like having there's a term for it that is used for something that is that you don't, it's un, not always readily available.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a delayed gratification or something
Exactly,
like
you know.
that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think like another big aspect too of like this entire idea of, you know, getting away from your 9 to 5 and kind of like starting your own thing. I think there's a lot of people who have tried that and failed right away. I say fail kind of loosely because a lot of people are like, oh, if I don't get immediate results, you know, if I don't get the exact result what I'm looking for right away, then I failed. And people
Mhm.
think that
Yeah,
right
that's
away.
we have a mutual acquaintance that was telling me in the infancy stage of Bucks of Wisconsin I should quit because I didn't hit X. I didn't meet his expectation.
Hmm.
Now stuck with it. Now I've achieved things that I never thought I could achieve
Yeah.
with the numbers and the views and all that stuff like that. And
Hmm.
so it's like I like that things are being recognized in it. So it's like sometimes it's like it
It
takes
doesn't
time to
work right away.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's I think
And
that's
that's another thing too, because a lot of people are like looking. It's like
instant
you
gratification is
put the
very
work in
scary, very
now,
dangerous.
knowing that you're not going to get instant gratification later until the work is not ever going to be really done, right? But
Mhm,
the outcomes start happening in a year from now, maybe 2 years from now. But what you do day to day matters now.
mhm,
So
mhm.
it's like, same thing with B tier. Like, we're only I don't know how many subs in or whatever, but like if we keep continuing going down the same like path in 3, 4, 5 years, maybe there is something here where we can just be like, yeah, like we started this, not really thinking it was gonna go anywhere, but knowing that it's gonna go somewhere because you have a really good editor and his name's Brady on the pod. No, I'm kidding. But no, like every time I edit a video, I think like that. I'm like, oh yeah, like I don't want to edit this video.
Mhm,
I don't want to come up to this podcast today. I didn't want to go live earlier today on my YouTube channel. I was
yeah,
like, I don't really want to do it,
mhm,
but sometimes you just have to.
yeah.
Like that's the
But
unfortunate
once you
truth.
get through it, you feel like
I
you
felt
feel
great.
yeah, you feel
When I
great. It's like
finished
going
my
to
live stream today, I was like,
mhm,
"Oh, Jeff's gonna be here soon, and we're gonna get another pod." Like,
yeah, and it's just like us. It's
you never know.
yeah. I just feel bad. I'm hoping that Phil gets better and stuff like that so he can be on for next week. But I'm
Hmm.
hoping it's like I feel bad for Kato because it's like he is all of his side projects I want to do are all it's just all in the back burner because of
His current
probably the
job.
DEI and the ESG that's going through the services right now. That's
Who
the
knows?
department, you know.
Who knows?
And it's like I put my hats off to him because he's putting in a lot of hours and he's a babysitter of society. He's the only there for the bad.
Yeah. So
That's what I feel bad most about cops is that they're always there for the bad.
yeah.
And then it's like when they're there for the good and they're there for doing something positive, there's always somebody out there bad that's yelling at them. It's like, all cops
Yeah.
are bad. It's like
It sucks.
these are all humans.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I hopefully he's like happy too. I don't know.
I think he really enjoys the work. Because I mean,
He
becoming
does.
a police officer is a big commitment. Similar to
Yeah.
joining the military, it is a big commitment, and you have to
Definitely.
really be all into it. I had a friend of
Definitely.
mine that I used to work with here almost 10 years ago. He wanted to become a state patrol officer, but
Yeah.
through the work he was doing through school and stuff, like he realized that it doesn't bring him joy. It's like
Hmm.
he recognized because it's like it dims his light. And he recognized that earlier enough on that he could be able to transition into something different that would brighten his life.
Yeah. And that's really the key. So like I said, hopefully Kato is like happy doing what his 9 to 5 is.
Mhm.
Because like I said, a lot of people usually are, but it's just a matter of like
He's not a 9 to 5. It is like a 6 to 6.
his 9 to 5 is a little different.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like that said, it's like still just hopefully he's doing what he needs to do and like,
Hmm.
and hopefully in his 30s he's gonna have a pension, like, he can retire maybe whatever. I mean, dude, the thing
Yeah.
is like the way that I'm thinking and how I'm living my life right now is I don't think any of that stuff is gonna be there in 10 years. Like it's crazy. Just the way that the country's going, the way that everything's going in the world and stuff, like you just can't rely on it anymore. I think it used to be a guarantee, but it's not
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Um, so like that's just a sad outlook for me, but I know like that's also my white pill too, because then that we can have some type of change in the next 10 years, and then Hopefully, we can shift a different route,
I
make it
hope
better.
so, man. It's like I'm on decade number 4, and it's like, and that's only just weeks away. And I thought we would be in a better position, but all I've seen is since I graduated 18, it's like it's just been going downhill. It's like the rat race is getting tougher and tougher. Like buying a home is becoming illusion. Like I have a friend of mine that his house back when it was first built in like 20 or 2009, 2008 or something like that, it was worth 200 grand. Now he's selling it for 700 grand. And it's like he's outside the market. It's like it's a beautiful home, but the only downside is that if the powers that be change thing, you put those unrealized gains tax in there. If it jumps up to 800 grand, it's like he's got to pay taxes on 700 grand plus the extra 100 grand that came on top of it. It's like that's where we're going to lose our autonomy and stuff like that. It's like the family members that I know, or the people I know now that own homes, own land outright. It's like you got to protect that shit because eventually we're all gonna lose that. We're gonna become like Britain, where we're all gonna be in one household. Like that's why, like some of the Hispanic culture, like like why they have so many people in one house, that as everybody goes out and works, the wives stay at home and take care of the house, like the healthy families. All the brothers, sisters, cousins, like, all that money goes back into the house or back in the household to
Hmm.
grow. It's like that's why, like, when you build a company, you get the right people inside of it. Everybody's putting
Everybody's
their
putting money
time in there,
back in.
and then go from there. So,
Yeah.
but then it's like you get the people from like Nvidia, like they're not really being very inventive because they have all this money, but it's like they're like, once you hit $1 billion, like you need to start making sure the underlings start making some money too.
What are they at? Like a trillion point something now?
Oh,
Trillion point
dude,
three?
yeah, exactly. They've done a lot of good things, but it's like now it's
Yeah.
like all the people that are coming in, they're looking at the cheapest labor possible.
So you
Or
can you can tell me if I'm wrong here or if I'm right here. So
okay,
um and this is probably gonna be, I'm gonna preface this with, it might be out of your knowledge set. It's kind of out of a lot of people's. But I'm gonna break it down, I guess, in like the most layman terms I can. So say I started a blockchain company, right?
mhm,
And it was let's just use like a moniker name, game company here, right?
mhm,
And that game company had 12 individuals in it. They were all contributing in different ways, and they were making content, say, for like an influencer account that we all shared, right?
okay,
Hypothetically speaking, of course.
mhm,
Um, Putting that on a blockchain and then distributing 12%, or I guess it would be 100 divided by 12, so whatever that percentage would be.
like
Can't even
based on
think
like
that.
8%,
8 or 9,
yeah,
yeah.
which is still 9% of $1 million is still pretty healthy.
No, if we hit a mill, right?
Yeah, right.
But say we did that, out of like a 50% total of the company, and then we put 50% on chain so that other people from outside of our company could invest in the 12 people that we have in the company,
Okay.
right? So out of, I guess it would be out of 50%, 12 divided, and then it would be the rest into a liquidity pool, which would
Hmm.
be something that like anybody could attribute to, anybody could sell from, buy from, essentially just putting a coin on chain, but that is represented by 50% being the company and 50% being the on chain revenue, right? And then that 50% would all be divided amongst all the individuals in here. And I don't know if it's right to put, so like, this is like the question that I kind of have. Would it be okay to divvy up the company that I currently so taking game company out of this, I guess, personal company. um, would it be okay to divvy up a company 12 ways at a current state of like, say the company that we currently have makes no money. Right now we are not making any money. There's like
Hmm.
no money in current game company. But would it be okay to divvy that up 12 times or divided by 12 in its infancy like that? And then if somebody wanted out, you either collectively buy them out as like a group, or you like have them sell their shares to somebody else in the group. And I don't know if that would drive people to like actually care about the company that they're making.
Ooh, that is a deep question. That's a deep fucking question, man. That's a multi-layer onion right there,
Yeah,
man.
I'm so sorry to unpack this on a B tier pod because we're just good enough and no one's really watching. But but you at home, you might know this too. I don't know.
It's
I'm
strange
breaking it apart,
because
but
everybody's motivation is going to be different, and it's like and if they're going to get money out of nothing that's making money, it really shows where their loyalties lie. And I think that is a good way to weed it out and bring that doubt to the surface. And let's say nobody wants to do that. Everybody's all in. It's like now it gives you as an owner, as one of the owners, reassurance like, okay, we're all on the same page. Because like what that does is it brings that doubt out. You're able to determine what is going on for it. Because then it's like, well, then maybe that person right there, maybe there could be somebody else that's in your chat group. It's like, I love to be part of it, but they don't know if they do this could be an opportunity for them to get into it where they can buy in and put that liquidity back into it and to go
Yeah.
from there. So it's like it's basically you're bringing somebody in, but it's like I think if I were in your shoes and I would do that, and somebody did want to sell, they got to find then it comes down to the group to find a replacement that's willing to pay for those shares to become back into it because now you're a partner with it, and that's where like
Yeah.
like firms do so well is because you have that buy-in to be
Yeah.
able to do it, and it's like yeah. Now the thing is, like, what's the buy-in? Is it 1 grand? Is it 5 grand? Is it 10 grand to do the buy-in?
Yeah.
That type
It
understanding,
might only be like a grand,
but
but
still, but it's
yeah,
like that is actually tangible to be able to do that for like somebody
money.
that's out there that's working there. It's like there is an in it because like I look at my job as a revenue stream. I look at my wife's
Mhm.
job as a revenue stream, and it's like, but together we are able to make a powerful revenue stream to be able to divvy out to other assets because it's like I don't look at a my job as a 9 to 5 or so it's a revenue stream that
A revenue stream.
I get to really enjoy the
Yeah.
people I get to work with because it's like it's not easy working with the team and have the cohesion that we do despite some of our differences. So that is what I that would what I would do is like I like your strategy, your thought behind it. Now I can figure out where the doubt is because there's probably someone that has doubt. Then
Yeah.
this way, then you can find out like as a group. This is where it's like since everybody's remote, you lose that camaraderie because it's like you have that camaraderie granted, but it's like having everybody in the room feeding off everybody's energy is a good thing to be able to find out because that one person that has that doubt, where is that doubt coming from? And if you can find that objection or what's going on, then you could be able to provide them that shoulder to cry on. Or it's like, hey, I'm having blank issues. Well, I have a friend or someone. So this is guy number 12. He
Yeah.
wants to get out, but guy number 1 has a solution to his problems
Right.
because it's like he's
Exactly.
too scared to bring that problem to the table, and that's why he's looking for a way out because he sees that dollar amount.
Yep.
And sometimes that's some things like they just don't know. They don't know, and especially if like you're dealing with all men. Men keep their emotions zipped up tight. Because we've had our words thrown back to us,
Oh yeah.
or we've heard our words come from somebody else's mouth.
Oh
That's
yeah.
why you picking your friends, your loyalty is crucial for us men because it's like if I hear my conversation coming out of somebody else's ear, well then now I no longer can trust you. Or my conversation I thought was in confidence comes back and hears it and then and somebody in my life it gets impacted by it, which recently happened to me. So it's like now I understand that like that person I cannot confide any actual personal information with because my words came back to hurt somebody else, and it pissed me off to the point where it's like I can't trust you. And it's like it also shows to the character that you've been so
Okay.
beaten down
Yeah.
that
That sucks.
you have no code.
Hopefully it wasn't me. I
No,
don't
it
know.
wasn't you.
Yeah.
No, I can explain it to you once the record button's off.
All
But
right. I was gonna say I yap sometimes, so I never
Mhm.
know. But hopefully it doesn't
That's
bounce.
why
I
for
never like say malice stuff. I guess like if something
that's
I
the
know is
key
gonna
thing
hurt
about it.
somebody.
It's
I'm
like
like,
if you're talking about something that is deep and like you're hearing their tone drop, that's something it's like something that it's learned and
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like but
yeah.
it's like but you see the ROI on that.
Hmm.
And that's where you come through it. But that's a good way to find that all out.
Yeah,
Especially like if you have something that's like you feel like they're not pulling their work, like, what's going on? Because usually it's always something mental that's going on, and that's what you got to dig into. I'm
yeah.
hoping
Find out.
my my points will help you make a decision on
Yeah,
what you're thinking because I like it's a very in-depth question that you asked.
yeah. No, and
And it's like you
when
thought that I wouldn't be able to handle it. It's like, look at this man, I broke that fucker down.
yeah, no, I appreciate it.
It's just, but
Um,
I'm
well,
the
because
joys is that you and I are always like I told Phil last time on Mondays, like we're always searching new people to listen to and
yeah,
learn advice from, and somebody's going to be able to say something that's going to trigger. Like I like that saying, I can apply it to my life, but
yeah.
there's also people that you've also like. I'm also 11, 12 years older than you are, so it's like
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
I've stubbed my toe a few times.
Yeah, no, it helps a lot, so I appreciate it. I know right now we're in this like being stagnant, right? Talking about that's like the fucking podcast today or whatever. We're talking about like not being able to quit your job, not being able to, find a new
Mhm.
house, whatever it would be. Right now we're in like a weird spot in the org where it's like, what are we doing? Where are we going from here?
I
Because we
gotcha.
haven't really seen the upward growth that I like, and I haven't really seen everybody lock the fuck in, and I
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
get people like on the same page. And I know like
Mhm,
half of us are and half of us aren't. So like
mhm,
that's where I'll have to like again, if it does take some type of dollar amount to get people kind of in or out, like that might be it. I don't know.
mhm.
Um, we do have a tournament coming up. We have a pretty big hosted tournament coming up. So like we'll see how that goes. That's on Valorant. I know you don't care about any of that. It's like Counter Strike
No, I
kind of.
get no, I
But
see the same logic you're applying. I do the same thing with paintball and an
yeah,
archery thing
yeah,
because
yeah.
like, how do we get more
So
people in
imagine
and
you
stuff
have
like
like
that?
a really big like archery event coming up and
Mhm.
you're like, who's in, who's out? You know what
Yeah,
I mean? But you have to like commit 3 days of your life to it or whatever.
that's
That's
exactly
essentially what
what's
we're doing.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Oh yeah,
like,
I hear you,
except
man.
we're talking months out now at this
Mhm.
point because
Yeah.
of if people are gonna like, or if we do have some type of like on-chain launch or something like that for crypto. Granted, we could be one of the first gaming orgs on a crypto chain, and I think that would be like a
I
first mover
think that
advantage.
would be the innovation that you're looking
But
for to bring
to
people
bring
in
either people
or
out or
leave.
in. But
Yeah.
yeah, imagine like you buy your shares in and then you can contribute to the org's page or something like
Mhm.
that. Like there are
Yeah.
so many avenues. And I brought this up to him last weekend. We have weekly meetings and not everybody's there. So it's so hard to and this is like again, being out of person, being
Mhm.
remote is like such a hard thing. And it's why I'd never do a podcast remote, I don't think again.
Mhm.
It's just like being in person, being able to read body language, eye contact,
Yeah.
all of the other
That's what
ins
I
and outs of it.
yeah,
it
like prior
you
to
know,
2020, it's like the face to face was pretty easy to do, but like then a lot of people started cheating and getting away from it. And I like
yeah,
there's people that I want to talk to live far away, but it's like when I'm here, that's why when I go to my archery events, I quadruple down because if I can get 4 episodes out, that's a month's worth of content. It's face to face. That's a different emotion from it. The only thing is missing is the recorded element toward it. But it's like I would need to have somebody to be able to know what they're doing to be able to help me out to do that. So this way, then me and the guests could have that center focus to be
yeah,
able to we're not paying attention to everything that's around us. You know, that's what's like I was supposed to go tomorrow. I was supposed to go down to Madison and the meeting got canceled
hmm
for a prominent company in the outdoor world because the gentleman that's has he wants to develop content for a purpose for a contest. And I like his motion. And it's like, and I got asked last weekend when I was a little sideways, and it's like, and I had to go back and rewatch the video today. Like, what were we talking about? Kind of jog my memory, and it didn't work out. But the guy that wants to sit down with me, he wants to take it to the next level too. He wants to bring a drone operator
okay,
in. Yeah, so it's
that
like
could be interesting.
yeah, but I don't know exactly what his vision is, but I think it'd be fun. And the fact that I was asked on a private DM from somebody that's renowned in the industry is respectable. And it's like if he was asking like, "Hey, I want to pay you for your time and your drives," I'm gonna do this for free, man, because it's like I told him the blessing is in the work. Like being able, and I told him like being able to work with you is more gratifying than like $50 for gas.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll eat the gas to
Well,
go
and
down there. You know, it's like it's
15 bucks is 15 bucks. Like it doesn't.
no, well, I'm driving a
Yeah, or
truck, so
whatever. Yeah,
it's
50
more like
bucks,
100 bucks.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, but
but
but you see what I mean? That's where I get my joy out of it. 'Cause, like, I don't want him to be indebted to me and like where he has to pay me or something like that. It's like I want to partner with him. I want to work with him. And so it's like I told him we had a conversation today about it or
mhm,
yesterday. And he let me know he was polite to let me know what was going on today that he wants to do this something bigger. It's like, but that tells me that he's motivated, that he sees potential in this as well. And
yeah,
that's where it gets me excited because like he wants to, he's got a bigger vision than I do. Because like I didn't think about drones. It's like I was
yeah.
gonna come over here and it's like and talk to you
Drones are
about
great,
yeah.
man.
But I
Yeah.
was gonna talk to you about like cameras and stuff like that to figure out what I should do. Like, should I
Do you
just use
want um an EOS for the weekend, I guess? I
it?
don't know.
Won't be. It's rescheduled for
Oh,
later
it's
down the road.
rescheduled.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's
Just
like
let me know.
yeah.
We'll
So
figure that out.
it's sometime at the end of the month. I don't know if it's gonna be Halloween or if it's gonna be November 1st or something like that. But it's like I like his approach to it. It's like, well, what do I do with this said camera now? It's like it'd be fun to go stream live for, but what makes the most sense in this in this thing? So now my curiosity is getting to me. It's like what and I gotta
Yeah.
ask questions like what is his envision for it? And so what I'm
Yeah, see
thinking,
what
I
he's
think what he's gonna,
planning,
what the guys,
how many angles, how many,
yeah, well, it's like,
somebody's gonna be on like the TikTok shorts, I'm sure,
hmm
like the vertical format. You could do that with your camera, and then you
yeah,
could film with this camera too, and
hmm
you can film with a drone, and
yeah.
you
So
could have
it's
so many angles.
yeah, that's the idea, like to develop the content we're looking for, and just going in with the mindset is like, all right, so like when I go to this conversation, I'm gonna be taking my dead shot, and I'm gonna get myself ready for it. And it's like because it's like I'm
That's a
gonna
modafinil day.
yeah, so it's like
No.
I'm gonna get my mind right, and because I want to, because it's like work. We him and I never met.
Yeah,
The guy that's in between us is he's met both of us. So it's like, all right, so now I want to set the right impression for him, because it's like I really like his message, what he wants to do, and that's when he brought up like, what you would you charge for this? Like, I'll do it for free, man,
yeah.
because I think
Let me know where you need me.
because honey attracts more than salt.
Yeah,
And some people say, "Look, why don't you pay for it? Why don't you get this?" Like, that's not the plan that the like. I was talking to my buddy about this. Like, I know you're not really religious, but it's like God has a plan for me, and this is something He gave me an opportunity for.
yeah,
And so it's like I could have came into being salty
yeah,
about canceling for tomorrow, because I was like, but I'm taking a half day. I'm gonna take a PTO, a half day, so that opens things up. So it's like I'm still gonna come into work at 7 o'clock. I'm gonna work until 11:30. I'm gonna be done, because
and
nobody
you
at
got the
work knows what I'm
weekend
gonna be doing.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I'll have an extra half day to it. Except tomorrow is gonna be 80 fucking degrees, so that's why I agreed to it. It's not like
yeah,
Saturday where it's gonna be waking up at 40 degrees.
yeah, yeah.
So there's like
That'll be
so
good.
that all of that dynamic plays into making that one decision, you know? And so it's like now Ryan wants to go see with Theo Vaughn. There's still some tickets available here in town, because Theo Vaughn's going to be in town tomorrow night
Oh, I
for his
forgot
tour.
about that.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's like, because it's like I was waiting to find out what this plan was going to be, because it's like if I was able to do it, I think that's bigger. It's a bigger ROI for me than it is to go see Theo Vaughn, because Theo Vaughn is like his comedy is hit or miss for me, and it's
yeah.
like he's not somebody that I
Oh, you're not going to Theo
no,
Von
no,
tomorrow?
I'm thinking about it. I gotta talk to Alicia to see like what her thoughts are on it, 'cause she thought about getting me tickets too. And I thought this is
Yeah.
where back in the couple weeks ago, like
I thought
this is
about it a
Oka
couple
Beach.
weeks ago when we were
Yeah,
talking about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but there's still tickets available. So that's the
Yeah,
upside.
I don't know if I really want to go
But don't you have to
anymore.
work though tomorrow night?
No, I work Saturday night.
Oh, Saturday night. So
So I'm
yep.
off tomorrow, but
Mm,
yeah, I don't know.
yeah, and it's like going to the not knocking your idea to go to the corn maze is fun, but it's like it doesn't really intrigue me that much.
Oh, yeah, if you don't
Yeah,
want to, that's fine.
yeah, it doesn't excite me now. If you said like now since everything's changed, like you want to go fishing, like bet your ass to go fishing with you.
We might go fishing before the corn maze though tomorrow.
Well, I'm off at 11:30, so
I'll let you
good thing you know,
know.
guy.
Cause yeah,
Because then the upside is that I leave today. I can go from here. I can go to I don't like doing Go Wild for Wisconsin. You
yeah.
know, I hate it's a shitty app. It's done poorly.
Well,
Like Iowa's and Minnesota's.
we might just go to like Patty Bone
I still have
tomorrow.
to get I still have to get a license. At least it's
Oh,
in
okay,
Wisconsin.
gotcha.
I can get a Wisconsin license, but now it's like it can cover
You
me for
can,
going ice fishing.
yeah, and if we go up to like Brownsville or something, you'll be good.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll kind of figure all that stuff out, but I think I'll let you know if we end up going tomorrow. Probably gonna depend on how Phil feels.
Phil was kind of the motivating factor behind it. It's like,
If
hey, we
if
haven't gone
Phil's
fishing
if
in a
Phil's
couple
up to
years.
it, yeah, I know we could probably
And if
book
we
it.
want to, we can go to Lake Neshonoc, because I have the little dock over there. It's out of the sun, out of the shade, and it's back off into a corner, so we
That
can
might
enjoy
be
some peace and
fun.
quiet too as well. You know,
And
so
then
there's
what do we look for Theo Von tickets then tomorrow too? Oh wait, well if we're going with Ryan, I'll go with Ryan. It'd be
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
I
it'd be
haven't
a
seen him
blast.
in a minute.
Mhm.
It'd be good
So
to catch up with him.
yeah, so and plus it's like it's his birthday week too. His birthday was Monday, so it's like he's been enjoying it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Duh.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's why you were over there yesterday.
Yeah, because that's the day he picked for
Yeah.
everybody to hang out, and then he's got this. So it's like he's got
I haven't seen him in a minute, so it's just
Mhm.
yeah, it's been a while. It's been
Yeah,
a long time. It's been almost a year.
Christmas. Oh no, well it's been
New
10 months.
Year's.
New Year's is
That was like the craziest event of my life, and it
I,
wasn't even mine.
I think it was 4th of July 2 years ago when you got a little saucy in you. So that was an interesting day. For
Oh,
sure.
that was bad for you guys. I blacked out, so we're
Yeah,
good.
yeah. It was there was, but it's like everything doesn't matter now. Everything's all water. But
Yeah.
it brought up emotions that you had been buried below the surface that needed to be addressed.
I
And
wonder what those
sometimes
were. No, no, I'm kidding.
we won't we can we can
Stop
hit
the
stop
pot.
if you want to talk
Yeah,
about what you and I
that's
discussed.
crazy. Yeah, but I might need to.